Welcome back to Evil Popcorn, episode 2. And hope you liked the first one. And I'm going to give this over to my man. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Mr. Popcorn, and you are?
I am Scream Queen. I'm here representing those of us that choose to not watch Human Centipede out of principle.
Yeah.
Love it.
I am known as the Baron. I've also not seen the various Centipede films, only because I find the idea a bit gross. But
I've seen all three.
Is there 3? I thought it was only 2.
There's 3 more than there should be.
It starts off with 3 people. It goes to 12 people, and number 3 is 500. Yes, I'm not joking. 500.
No.
Do I recommend them? No.
Actively avoiding. That's me.
I mean, science says that they've got to die real quick.
Yeah. The third one's in a prison, right? And so they use all the prisoners, yeah?
Okay.
And so there's an aerial shot, of just 500 prisoners. I'm spiraling my fingers listening.
They got the drone out for that one?
Yes, they got the drone out.
Well, good to see them using technology.
There's a trend on the internet at the moment where people get various celebrities and they place them where they think they deserve to be in the Human Centipede.
Oh, see, that's cute.
It's adorable, frankly.
Yeah. Where would you put Ryan Reynolds?
I would put him second behind Blake Lively.
Okay, sure.
That feels generous.
It's generous.
So we are talking about the Human Centipede.
Yeah, so this is the Human Centipede episode. Should I have made it zombie related? Perhaps, but
we're not talking about Human Centipede.
No.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Now we are talking about another movie. We are continuing the Australian horror, looking into Australian horrors, and we're going to keep it running for a while. We've decided the series until basically we've watched all the ones we want to watch, and we started off with Talk to Me last week because it was pretty much released when we started the podcast, so we thought we have to. It was
Serendipity,
synchronicity, and all of that. But the Baron, to my right here, has chosen the movie this week. And what would that be, Baron?
It's behind us. It's Undead, filmed almost in our very backyard here in southeast Queensland. So zombie film, filmed in 2001. One of the seminal zombie films in southeast Queensland. I think it's the only zombie film.
Yeah?
The only.
Wow.
Well, the only cinematically released zombie film.
Good way to put it. Because there was a glut when I first got here in 2011 after the floods. Yeah.
Every student film was a zombie film.
Absolutely, 100%. No shade on it. It was the fashion of the time.
Look, there's nothing wrong with a good zombie film. Everyone loves a good zombie film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Except there are some times when there can be things wrong with zombie films. But
yeah. How do you generally feel about zombie films?
I love zombies. I can't say that I have seen enough zombie films, but I am a huge Walking Dead advocate.
Okay.
To be honest, I've only seen probably up to the 4th season, but that's really all I need to see, in my opinion. And whenever I get sad, that is my go-to. When I'm all through 2020, I was watching the shit out of that. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Give Z Nation a try.
Yes, I need to just have a zombie day. I think
they exist in the same universe as Sharknado. There is a crossover character.
Really?
Fun. Is that because there's someone on the crew or creative?
No. It's an actor. One of the actors is the same character in Sharknado as is in the Z Nation, and a major character in Z Nation as well.
That's fun.
Interesting. Yeah. How do you feel about zombie films in general?
Look, love them. Shaun of the Dead's a favourite.
Okay. Yep.
I like to think that Cockneys versus Zombies exists in that same universe at the same time. It's a spectacular film. It's a heist film with retirees and zombies.
Wow.
Seeing the main guy from The Good Life running is not a good term, Zimmer framing away from a zombie in a retirement home garden while all of his friends look on in horror. So yeah,
What was this movie called again? Sorry?
Cockneys versus
Okay.
zombies.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it's very good.
Like the main guy from The Good Life, like Thingamajiggy from Cheers.
No, the Good Life's the UK sitcom, not the Good Place.
I got the
Not
Good
The Good Place.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's all
I know
good.
who you mean. I know who you
Yeah.
mean with the British one as well.
Yes.
Okay, myself, zombies. Yes and no. I got sick of them for a while because there was the glut, yeah? And I like vampires and werewolves more so. Zombies are
Oh,
more,
yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
terms of that
vampires,
scale.
then zombies.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
for
Okay.
me. Yeah.
Standout one. There are good ones though, of course. Standout ones for me. Yes, there's George A. Romero. Yeah,
Yep.
the trilogy of the dead. If you want to watch 4, 5, and 6, feel free. But the main ones that I really like that impacted me the most, resonated with me the most, would be 28 Days and
yes.
and Weeks Later.
Yep.
Yeah, I really like both of those films.
I love Train to Busan.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
That
absolutely.
movie is just like that is the zombie movie to me.
And
I
that
think.
was a more recent film after we've seen so many,
Yeah.
and then actually made you feel something.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, there were a lot of zombie films out there that were awful.
Yeah.
And I think they came along all at once. And it's like, oh, I really want to see a zombie film. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, this next one's terrible. Oh, this one's terrible, and it's got strippers in it. Oh, and this one's terrible, and that's at the North Pole. Why are the zombies at
I
the
don't
North Pole?
think I've ever seen a zombie film in cinemas. I think I've always
Okay.
like watched them after
Sure.
the fact.
I saw Shaun of the Dead in the cinema. I didn't see Cockneys versus Zombies, though I saw that on DVD. Yeah, I think
not sure,
Shaun of the
I
Dead
can't
might
say.
be the only zombie film I've seen at the cinema.
I can't say.
Oh, no,
I can't
this.
say. You saw
Ah.
this
I saw
at the
Undead.
cinema.
I saw this at the cinema
Yep, yep.
at the Dendy, and the man on the poster was the projectionist on the night that I went there. And the cop in the film served me popcorn. Emma
Okay.
Randall served me popcorn and sold me my ticket.
Okay. That's
Were
interesting.
they working
They were working there, yeah.
at the Dendy?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And they got to, and they got to work their own movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that wasn't a set-up event. That's just
No,
the jobs that
that
they
was
had
the
at
jobs that they had at the time.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's a truly an actor's journey. Yeah, definitely. But with this film here, Undead, is it a zombie film? That will be. Yeah, we'll reveal that later on. But what did you generally think? General impressions, Scream Queen, just to start.
I have complicated feelings about it. I liked it. I did. I thought it was very funny, very Australian.
Yeah.
The action was gorgeous.
Yep.
The lore, I guess, was very interesting, very unique.
Yep, no one else has done
And
that.
the design of the film was great. I don't know if the story generally was super, like by the end, I don't know if I was super like on board,
Okay,
but I enjoyed it overall.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel pretty much the same. I did enjoy it overall. Again, very unique, very inventive, funny,
Yep.
in a very Australian fashion.
Definitely
They
Australian.
definitely, unlike Talk to Me, which was an Australian film but didn't feel Australian. This
Yes.
leans into being Australian
Yeah.
from the get-go.
Yeah.
But I appreciated that because it was very self-aware. Yeah, the action sequences are gorgeous, absolutely. It was, I don't know if the directors were John Woo fans at all, or they had seen Basil Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet, and with the gunplay.
The scene in the
It's
house, the scene in the house alone says John Woo.
yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
you reckon John Woo? Yeah, sure. I agree with that. And it's a comedy, horror. It's very slapstick. It's very silly. These are the type of films I watch a lot. But I appreciated my rewatch of this because I watched this, about 10 years ago. And, it does stand up. And it was a great rewatch, but not one I would rewatch again in a hurry. And that's just my general feelings towards this type of comedy, horror,
Sure.
subgenre or whatever, yeah?
Yeah.
But for the person who brought us the film, what do you think, generally
Look,
speaking?
I've always had a soft spot in my heart for it, simply because it's filmed here. The story goes in a direction you don't expect. It, as you say, like it's not a groundbreaking story. Like once you're aware of what's happening in the world, then it's never going to win any writing awards. I could be wrong. I didn't look. Maybe it has.
It won visual effects awards.
Oh,
yes.
good.
Okay.
Deserved.
But I will revisit it once every couple of years. I've now, for the purposes of the podcast, watched it twice very recently, which did let me pick up a couple of things I think I'd forgotten, which is nice. Mm-hmm. But I've got a soft spot for it. It's never going to be the gold standard of zombie films, but it's certainly enjoyable.
Oh, absolutely.
What is your gold standard?
Yeah, see, that's difficult. I've got Shaun of the Dead, which is very much a comedy. But it is an excellent zombie film, but I would have to go all the way back to the original George A. Romero, Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead.
It really captured the feel of that nascent apocalypse happening. And then the good follow-up to that was Dawn of the Dead in the shopping mall.
Yes, Dawn, then Day.
Yeah.
Night, Dawn, Day, yeah.
I didn't like Day as much.
No.
But Dawn was
the other
excellent.
two, yeah. Dawn's probably the best, technically.
Yeah.
But I enjoy Night the most myself. But okay, I get you. But yeah, please, do you want to fully introduce what we're talking about here? Like, lay it down on the table, what film we have brought.
Okay, sure.
Technical information, let's get into it, basically.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Okay, so we are tonight talking about the early 2000s film Undead, as I said, filmed in southeast Queensland. I did reach out to Stephen Boyle, one of the makeup effects artists on the film, just because I've worked on a couple of things with him in the past, just to get a couple of little thoughts from him. Some of the things that he said were, let me just bring up the notes here. So the film spearheaded so much independent filmmaking in Australia. People saw what we did and we went out to do it for themselves. They went out to do it for themselves. I think that's an amazing legacy for any film to have. And it was so long ago, I remember people thought it was bizarre that the film had its own website. So people, apparently interviewers were saying, oh, you have a website for a film? Who would do that? So that just gives you a little bit of an idea of when that was that they did the film. So the film itself, sorry, I had my notes here and then I clicked away from it.
All good.
Come on, there we go. So it was released in 2003 according to IMDb.
Mm-hmm. So it's a 20-year anniversary.
20th anniversary. So the précis of the film is a quaint Australian fishing village is overcome by meteorites that turn its residents into the ravenous undead, leaving a small group of those unharmed to find a way out. So the meteorites is a nice touch.
Yes, which does harken back to Night of the Living Dead.
It does, yes.
Being the one, maybe the first to do that, I'm not sure.
Could have been.
Could have been. Don't quote me.
I mean, there's also a link there to the Day of the Triffids.
Yeah,
So they did the Perseids with that one.
Because this has a science fiction feeling to it.
It does.
Yes.
It does.
Yeah.
So the directors of this film are Michael Spierig and Peter Spierig, siblings.
Identical twins.
Identical twins.
No, Shinola.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got more
going with the theme.
Yeah, Australian brothers, filmmakers.
Yes, yeah.
So it has an IMDb rating of 5.4 out of 10. So just above a pass mark, according to IMDb. The special effects were all done as practically as possible, except where it came to things like the meteorites and the alien ship and that sort of thing. Obviously, they were CG. They did try to do a practical alien suit, but it was proving to be too expensive.
Sure, fair.
So let's see. It was entirely funded by the directors and their family and friends.
The director. What else are the directors known for?
The vampire film Daybreakers.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen that?
No.
It's really good. It's filmed here. And
I-
Ethan Hawke in it. And William Dafoe.
Yes.
Yes.
After reading about it, I absolutely want to watch it.
And
Vampires.
Some of my friends.
Oh, wow.
I have a very big problem with Daybreakers, though.
Oh.
Yes. Did you want to? Or?
Well, look, it's very brief. It's very brief.
Please, go.
I'm going to look right into the camera and do this. So Daybreakers was a vampire film set in southeast Queensland. Like, it wasn't set in America. It was set in southeast Queensland. And there were hundreds of light, tight tunnels surrounding the city and going from building to building that the vampires could travel through during the day. There is no way known that the Brisbane City Council could have got its shit together quickly enough in the time frame to make all of those fucking tunnels.
It's true. It is true. All right. You heard it here first.
Yeah. All right, so should we get into the plot of the film?
Yes, let's do that.
So the film opens on a bank scene where our effectively main character, Renee... No, that's the actress's name.
No, Renee
No,
is...
it's Renee,
yeah.
yes.
Her name's Felicity Mason.
Felicity
is the
Mason,
actor.
yes. Is in the bank with one of the creepiest bank managers I've ever seen in my life.
The wig...
Oh, terrible.
The wig just added to the creepy vibes.
And the lighting was terrible, and she's just lost her family farm. So there's some really nice little bits of character work there. Then we cut obviously to the outside, and the big city agent, also creepy,
Grimy, greasy. Yes.
Is obviously has designs upon our main character's physical body.
Yes, she is the catch of the day.
Yeah.
In this town of Berkeley, I believe, is the fictional town.
Berkeley is the town.
And that's quite a name for it's a bikini competition, isn't it?
I think it's like it's a proper like
a Miss pageant.
Beauty pageant.
Yeah.
Beauty pageant. Yes.
Where they do all of the things. Like they've got a
Talent
thing and a bikini thing, and I'm guessing they had to shear a sheep or.
It's just quite a title. And as the agent, now he's the blonde guy with the creep.
Yeah, the creepy guy with the chewing gum and the little
mustache,
the sex pest facial hair.
Yes, absolutely. And he had a real, not just Aussie and Ocker, which means extreme Aussie for those who don't live here.
Yeah.
Extreme rural Australia.
But not rednecky, not bogan.
No, yeah. Has thinks that they are more than they are. Has designs on being rich and famous.
Yeah.
And just furthering his misogyny, basically, which he definitely does express at the start of the film.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they really get you in there.
But he does have that Aussie accent, like I said before. They lean into the
and he has that
Australianness.
tracksuit on.
The Aussiness of this film straight away. Yeah.
Alrighty, so she's decided to leave the small town of Berkeley when all of a sudden a number of strange meteorites are seen falling nearby, turning the local inhabitants into zombies, and one or two of them apparently into Swiss cheese, with some wonderful special effects, makeup effects with holes through bodies and stuff.
Absolutely, and
it's great.
I liked that the first kill was a granny.
Oh,
but I like not killing a granny, but the way it was done.
Just the hole.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
It really, And I just love I have a note here that just says, "Oh no, granny," which is exactly how I felt when it happened. But I just love the character's reaction, just bugger me, and then boom, like titles. It's the perfect Australian way to start that film.
Oh yeah, and the music was wonderful with it as well. It was very sort of 1950s sci-fi horror.
Yeah, the scoring was really interesting. I was not expecting that for this film, but it was really good.
Yeah, the music was used interestingly, like it was for big budget movies,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there was stuff reminiscent of Jaws. I haven't seen it in a while.
There's a gag later in the film that's very reminiscent of Jaws.
We'll get to that. And so it was very self-aware, and it's playing up its own cheapness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one
intentionally
of the things that I'd spoken to Stephen about when we were on a shoot for another film, Clang, is they ran out of budget pretty quickly. So there are a number of background zombies where they've just glued like cornflakes to their face and stuff because they ran out of prosthetics. So,
But it works.
Yeah.
It absolutely works.
So Renee and the agent, they get in his car and they start to head out of town. Now, later in the film, there's a reference to this is the best way out of town because everywhere else is going to be blocked from another character. So she obviously knows the area well because that's the route they take first, which they get to a point in the road where the road is blocked by a couple of crashed cars. And the agent, in an uncharacteristic moment of heroism, gets out of the car to go and see what's going on. But I love his little walking diatribe about how people don't know how to drive.
Oh, yeah.
And they should stick to one side and two lengths of the car in front of them. It's amazing. Oh, by the way, spoilers.
Yeah, as always. Moving on. Yeah, I liked them. Yeah. They definitely play with the morality of these characters as well, and the kind of stereotypical Australianness of these characters.
He's bitching about the driving.
Yeah, he's bitching about the driving, and he's just, all these kind of 2 cars ahead at all times sort of thing. Then he was being a complete creep to the girl before. Yeah. Which is very rural Australian, not to really slam people,
Yeah,
but
no,
I've
it is.
experienced it. I've experienced
Very much so.
Yeah. But carrying on, please.
Alrighty. So obviously they get to that point. The creep, you're supposed to think, has been taken by the zombie in the front of the car. He then turns up in a little bit of a jump scare at the side of the car next to her. But then the jump happens and he gets dragged under the car by a zombie we don't see.
Yes.
I really like the addition of the improvised weapon of the steering wheel lock.
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah.
And then it comes back a couple of times in the film as well.
It does. Yeah. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
the slice through the center.
Yeah. Nice effect.
So nice.
Yeah.
I was so surprised by the visual, just the quality of the visual effect. I was thinking it was refreshing to watch this after Talk to Me.
Yeah.
Because Talk to Me is such a vicious, realistic, practical effects that just were too much. But this was like gore, but like I could celebrate it because I was like, oh, that was a good one. You know, like I was almost rooting for the zombies at some point just so I could like see the kills because they were pretty great.
Yeah. They do range from goofy to glorious.
Yes.
These kills.
Yes, goofy to glorious is a good way to put it.
So now here's where we are introduced to our poster boy, Marion, played by Munga McKay, dressed in his slouch hat that's had the slouch taken out of it, his overalls. And we don't see the triple barrel shotgun immediately. He's just got a normal shotgun and some pistols at that point. But one thing I will say, like she drops the wheel lock pretty quickly, and he drops a whole shotgun to take a pistol out to go after another zombie, which he never picks up again. So I've got a real problem with the people dropping weapons everywhere.
Yeah, they just leave them.
Well, what do we want to do? We want to mention the style of the gunplay so it makes sense to give them a little bit of credence and justice for how they do it.
To be honest, the gunplay in this is very Sam Peckinpah. It's Wild West.
Yep.
This is obviously pre-John Wick. This is pre those sort of films. Like it's very John Woo.
Yeah.
Mixed with a bit of Western to it.
Yes, absolutely. So there's guns being discarded and then being another 2 from the belt. He'll throw 2 up in the air, pick up a shotgun, start taking people out, look up, guns come back down, boom, boom.
Grab someone else's gun, shoot through their elbow. Yeah.
Bullet ballet in these type of things.
So graceful.
Yeah. Gun fu.
Kung Fu.
Yeah. Have you seen John Woo? Do you know what I mean by John Woo?
I know what you mean. I haven't seen the
Face Off is his most famous American
Romeo
film.
Must Die.
He's famous for Hard Boiled Day and stuff. But he was the one he was one of the originators, if not the originator, of making really elaborate gunfight scenes.
John Wick owes a lot to John Woo.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, big time.
I'd be surprised if the John Wick thing wasn't a reference in some way to.
It's where Hollywood gets it all from.
So we meet Marion, who is enigmatic and doesn't speak to begin with. She follows him to this weird ass 3-level house in the middle of nowhere with a sign on the side that says Marion's World of Weapons.
I missed that. Did it really?
Yeah.
What? Okay, so he is a weapon fiend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So he has that on. There's a sign on the side of the house. It's fallen down, but he scans past it, and there's a sign on his van that says Marion's World of Weapons.
Yes, I did see the one on the van.
Yeah.
I think I missed the one in the house. I would also follow after him.
Yeah.
If I were in this movie, I would be following straight
totally.
after him because like this guy knows what he's doing. Obviously.
Yeah, you're that good with guns, and you're not blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I get the feeling though that in this universe, zombie films don't exist because it takes them a really long time to get to shoot them in the head.
But But then later on, the cop mentions like these aren't aliens, these are zombies.
Yeah.
So there is an awareness of zombies. So I thought that was interesting. I really didn't think that they were going to be shoot in the head and they die zombies. I thought the reveal was going to be that they don't die. They just keep on. And I was like, I was waiting for it. I was waiting for the bullet to the head to see if it would work, and it did.
Yeah.
So
And there's some really nice nods to, I believe, Evil Dead in the house fight with the zombies popping back up, the way they do.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah. No, there's some definitely.
I take issue with the amount of water wasted in this movie. That really grinds my goat. She follows him to the house, and he has like gallons of water, I would assume, for supplies. I know that they're having this smoking sort of
Like
thing.
acid rain.
Yeah. I got that. Maybe I didn't get that fully until now. But I'm just like, if you're in a zombie apocalypse, you want to be conserving your gallons of water, but they are just going. She's just pouring that all over her.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how long it's going to be like this. She's just wasting that water.
Well, we do have. She's not the only one wasting water, because we have. I don't know if we're not up to the yet, or if we met them yet. The other people in this.
No,
film.
just about
Okay,
to.
okay, very good. Not to spoil anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll stop my water rant.
No, it's all good.
No,
It's in a good spot.
Yeah, it's a reaction.
So we're in Marion's house. There's a little bit of exposition. We see a flashback to him going fishing, where he gets attacked by the zombie fish, then beats one to death with his fishing rod, and then suddenly has a gun that he just had in his tackle box.
It was given powers by the zombie fish.
Yeah, it was hidden.
The alien sun rays.
Shooting, just when he pulls the gun out on the fish, that really got me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just for all of our listeners out there, Australia is not a place where you would be carrying a
Yeah.
semi-automatic pistol in the bottom of your tackle box.
Maybe if he runs a gun store, like that's the implication, right?
I get the feeling from the flashback, and by all means, Spierig's right in if I'm wrong. But I get the feeling that the zombie fish attack started his obsession with being prepared for the zombie attack, so he didn't get
You're
into weapons till
right.
after
Yes, no, that makes
that. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So we see a little bit of that. So there's a little bit of exposition. We start to fill in a little bit of the world. We get to see some of Mungo's spectacular non-blinking acting. He does some really nice sort of, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. His blank face, stone face,
Yeah,
you want to call it. Yeah. No, it says a lot. Definitely.
All right, so we're in his house. There's a bunch of zombies. Then some other survivors arrive in the form of two police officers and a couple, one of whom is heavily pregnant.
Yeah.
That's the woman that's heavily pregnant.
Yes.
Yeah. And these are interesting characters. The cops, especially the mustachio cop.
Oh yeah.
He's responsible for my favourite line in the whole film, which is, "When I was a kid, we respected our parents. We didn't fucking eat them."
I saw, like, just researching this film, I saw that line everywhere, and as it should be, because it's brilliant.
Yeah.
There are some really great lines. I wrote down a bunch.
Yeah,
of lines.
I wrote-
It was one of the standouts.
Yeah, I think this is just before everyone else arrives inside the house. She's talking to Marion, just trying to glean a little bit more about what's going on. And he said, "This is the end." And she's like, "The end of what?" And he says, "The world, the universe, everything."
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, and I liked how he delivered his dialogue. It was
Yeah.
just melodramatic enough.
Yeah. But he knew, obviously Mungo knew what kind of film he was in.
Absolutely.
But I think Marion knew what kind of film he was in.
Yeah, that's a good one. Marion's the real name of John Wayne.
Yes.
Yeah.
It might have been an homage.
I think so. Yes, a little cheeky nod.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
All right. So we get our new people arriving, the police and the couple. It's also the first appearance of the tri-barreled shotgun from the poster.
And to clarify, you get double action, double barrel shotguns,
Yeah.
where they're right next to each other. But just to make sure you know what's happening here, there was 1, 2, 3 shotguns.
3 whole shotguns.
In one.
Now, funny little story with that particular shotgun. When they were doing the press tour for this, they went to Japan. I believe it was Japan. Happy to be wrong. They went to foreign land, and the customs people on the way back to Australia disassembled it.
Ooh.
Almost completely unable to be put back together, disassembled it.
Oh, shit.
So for a very brief moment, because I had a friend we made a costume of Marion for a very brief moment, a couple of months, I was in possession of the only three shotgun that I'd made out of some toy shotguns and some bits from Bunnings. So we took it to a convention. They said, yeah, no, this is the only one that exists at the moment because customs destroyed the original.
Oh, goddamn.
Ooh.
They did rebuild it.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
We're in the house. We've got the extra people. We've got all the zombies. We've got the tri-barrel shotgun. So this is when they all head for the bunker.
Yeah, and there's one of the great lines I wanted to throw in there from the mustache cop.
Dirk.
And, Dirk, is that his name?
Dirk is the actor's name.
Yeah, okay, yep. Is it? Okay. Well, I don't
He's got a
want to cast
ridiculously manly name.
he was regarding Marion, and the way he was basically dealing with the aliens and saying that he says to them that they need to stay and fight the zombie/aliens, the predators at this stage. And he goes, "Can I get a cup of tea with this fruitcake?"
It's pretty good. Dirk Hunter.
Dirk Hunter.
Like, that's a name you give someone in a film. That's not a name
That's
someone
an
has.
actor- the
That's the
actor's
actor's name.
name.
Yeah,
Okay.
he plays Harrison, who's the
Harrison. Yeah. Okay. And he's just he's just the worst type of cop you can imagine, intentionally so. Yeah,
Yes.
intentionally
Yeah.
so.
The sort of stereotype of this bumbling cop. That's
Yeah.
like definitely what these two are.
Absolutely.
Small town cops.
Yeah.
Out of
there's
their depth.
One nice and docile guy and another one who just abuses everyone and blames everything on everyone else happening around him.
Yeah.
Pretty much the whole
I think that's what makes this film so funny, is because of course it's a takeoff, of course it's making light of sort of the Australian slang and stuff, but it's also real, like it's also accurate, and that's why you can, it's funny because it's like close to what it is.
Yeah, seen through Australian eyes, you're going, okay, I see what you're doing there.
You're like, I know these people. Like, yes, this is them to the umpteenth degree, but I know that person.
We've all been to rural Australia.
Yes. Yeah, I grew up in...
There you go.
Yeah.
More or less, yeah.
So, of course, the moment that they get into the bunker, which obviously doesn't have any food in yet, because we see Marion preparing to fill the bunker.
And she's already poured half the water all over herself.
So the moment they close that door, because they're being chased by zombies, the woman goes into labour.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, and I have a note here that's the only thing that can make childbirth worse is if you were in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. All right, so a little bit tropey. They decide to leave. Safety, also quite tropey, because you could hang out there for a couple of days without food and water.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did move on.
Well, then that would have been the film over.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we've all seen people. No, but like the rest of the time wasn't played out of trying to keep in the bunker, keep everything out, that sort of thing. Because I've seen a few of those, which we have. Yeah. So I'm glad they expanded how they moved on from that.
So they go outside to scavenge, but encounter more zombies. So this is when we discover that you shoot them in the head. Mm-hmm. The best way to keep the creatures down. They abandon the house and they go to the garage to get Marion's van. Now, to do that they have to go upstairs and they have to dig a hole in the floor with the shotgun, shooting it.
Yeah. Didn't dig, he just shot right through the ground.
I'm not sure where it sits with dog soldiers, but dog soldiers also had an exit by smashing through the floor of a bathroom. So I don't know whether it was a callback or it just happened to be
it's been a long time since
parallel
I've seen
evolution.
It. Yeah, okay. This was but it was reminiscent of Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this whole part of the film.
I wonder if there's a black and white cut of it out there with grainy footage.
There was some sort of filter or colour grading over it, especially when it was just introducing the town as well. Very brown.
Some sort of negative film effect or filter. computerized version rather than a film version.
Yeah, like a Instagram filter.
Yes.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
All right, so they decide to flee. They get in the van and they drive to find a huge wall around the town, which is new for a zombie film.
It is really new.
Yeah.
And this is where the science fiction element, like the cops, there is the argument between Marion and the cop, Marion and the town. They're not aliens, they're zombies.
Yeah.
And then, if Marion doesn't need any more proof, then there's a giant dark matter
There's a wall with glowing
spikes
clouds
sticking out of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of councils, I think there is a moment where one of them goes, "Oh, they must have just put this wall up," and then one of them goes, "The local council wouldn't have been able to do this in the last few days," and I was like, "Yeah,
Very Australian.
yeah." So there you go.
See also my bitching about the vampire tunnels.
Yeah, exactly.
But definitely watch Daybreak because it's very good.
Yeah, I really want to.
Yeah,
I love
they
Claudia
did,
Carmen.
They did
so.
Jigsaw as well, which is Saw 9.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, my brother doesn't live in Australia. Because this is our second episode of two filmmakers being brothers.
Oh, yeah.
They've just made it big in the global, circuit, global.
Do we stick to that theme? Are we only going to do
Are there
twins
others?
that make films?
No, please, no.
It's really niche. We end up with
So
4
niche.
episodes.
So,
And that's all from us. 'cause
And
there's
that's everything covered.
yeah. Because
We'll
you
get
go
back
away
to the
from
start.
Australia, they've got the Soskers, Coens, we're done.
Wachowskis?
Wachowskis. Yeah, it's true.
Maybe it's a series.
Famous
Copyright.
twins.
Famous twins, yeah. All right, so they find the huge barrier surrounding the town, which Marion blames on the aliens that had taken him. There's also a slightly acidic rain that falls at very regular intervals, and the
Yes.
group is being careful not to get wet, which we
Yes.
now know, having watched the film, they should have let themselves get wet
Yes.
because it's curing them
Yes.
and healing them.
Yes. I think I was a little bit confused on how the rain was
Yes.
working initially. I think you're sort of meant to be along with the characters. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things
No.
because we're having fun.
Yeah.
But I think I was like, is it... Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
What's with the smoking?
Is the rain causing the zombies?
Yeah.
But then this is about the scene where we see the person get zombified and then unzombified by
Yes.
the rain.
Yes.
So it becomes apparent that the water from the sky, so we know at this point the water from the sky is a benefit, but the characters in the film don't.
Yes, right.
Which is why we end up with a scene with Mungo McKay's naked bum.
Yeah, can we talk about that scene?
Naked with cowboy boots
Yeah.
and spurs and the whole get up. It was perfect.
We are just about there.
Okay, yeah, cool. I've got a bit to say about
So
that.
we see...
Got a lot. I've got a page of notes just dedicated to that one.
Nice. So not only do we see the rain curing people, we're also seeing beams of light taking people up into the sky, presumably for no good reason at this point, but later we find out it's to put them in a state of suspended animation to protect them from becoming zombies again.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we're on board?
I'm
we're
on
all
board.
on board.
I'm on board. I'm learning things.
It's just the motivation of the aliens, I think is the best way for me to put it, is a little confusing at the time. The way, because it's all there.
Yes.
It's just the cohesive kind of coherent steps to get there.
Yep.
It's all a bit of a muddy dirt track. You're kind of
Yeah.
slipping on the side a little bit.
Yeah.
You may get your boots dirty, scuff your knees on your pants.
Yeah.
But it does make sense at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once
Is that fair?
you get to the end, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
There were definitely moments where I was like, I'm very
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah, and we can see them getting sicker,
Yes.
like coughing and
Coughing.
stuff.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
coughing was a good,
Yeah.
that thread was good
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
So this is where we first see the glowing robed figures of the aliens.
Yes.
And I think they kill one of them from memory.
Yes, in the grocery store.
Yeah, okay,
He
yeah. So,
shoots one and,
Oh, yeah.
and you see its little hand.
The
Yeah,
gas
so-
canister and the pen.
yeah, so that's,
Oh.
that's the Jaws bit. So it's the gas canister in the mouth,
Yeah.
and then, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Of course.
So we're up to Mungo's naked bum.
Finally. All right. Yeah, I just love that no one else felt like they need to strip down to everything. I don't even know when it happened because in the car he just sort of goes and then pours the water and then all of a sudden he's just he's just naked.
Butt naked.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I've got some thoughts.
Yeah,
on
no,
it, because
go,
I thought
go.
it was very interesting the way they did it, because they've got the acid rain on them and they're smoking, well, they're steaming is a better word for it. So they're getting the fresh water, the non-acid rain water,
And washing off the acid rain that's helping.
the chickie. What's her name? Renee.
Yeah,
Yep.
the main final girl.
The final girl.
Yep.
She's observing what's going on. The back of the van as they're pouring the water over. Okay, that's a good idea. And I started getting a little bit worried here because it took a little bit longer, and she was filmed way better in a way, kind of more visible fashion than those in the back. Yes,
Yep.
taking her clothes off because she's not an unattractive person. Yes,
True.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, do we really have to do
A little
this?
bit male
I mean, is she a
gazy.
star?
Yeah. I was
Little
kind of,
bit
I was like,
male-gazy.
yeah, I was like, okay, so now she's just in her underwear. I was
but
like,
they-
where is this
and,
going?
You know, and they spent some time on
At least
that.
it was nice underwear.
But they flipped it though, because
Yeah.
then
Yeah, but then
Mungo
he
comes
was
along and then just strips
butt
down
naked,
and there's
yeah.
and like what I was really afraid of is that they were going to look at each other, Marion and Renee.
Yeah, I was worried there
They
because there was going to be a.
took no notice of each other.
No.
Even
Yeah.
when Mungo is getting out of the van, butt naked with cowboy boots in his hands.
And the hat, of course.
yeah.
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
And no one's paying any attention.
I did
to
get a
it.
little bit worried when
Yeah.
they started stripping. I was like, where is this? Is
They
this going to be
flipped the whole
Piranha
thing.
Double D?
They fucked
but
with
it
our
wasn't.
expectations
Such a good
big
movie.
time there. Fucked with our expectations big time. You think the two
Yep.
Yeah.
hottie heroes are going to get together. This is the moment because they have
Yeah.
to strip down because of the acid
Yeah,
rain.
thank God they
No,
didn't.
Nothing.
It's good.
It's just
But
practical.
again,
Yeah.
this is a moment where I'm like, why are they just wasting all of that water? Because they said it doesn't even. They said it doesn't burn. It doesn't hurt.
No.
So they're just pouring the only rations they have all over their bodies.
Yeah.
That's just.
Well, the couple were kind of a lot, yeah. And the cops
But I
were
love-
just,
I just-
very useless and bigoted individuals.
Yeah, I think just the
And
funny
swearing.
thing was
Yeah.
Renee just following suit. Like
Yeah.
she sees it, she's like, yes, that is what I'm supposed to be doing, and then continues to do it. I was like, okay, I guess we're
Yeah.
going with the whole water thing.
Because her evolution, Renee's evolution is done really well.
Yeah.
And when at the end, we won't spoil it there. So you might have a point there with like watching, observing, following suit with the role that she ends
Yeah.
up playing at the end. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that was the idea behind it. But I just love the expectation of here's the romantic scene with the two hero hotties
Yeah.
flipped on its head. Nah, we're giving you nothing because they're not even looking at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a non-entity. Like survival is
Yeah.
more important at this
And
point.
I like that there is like, but there is a moment where there is sort of like a shared respect
Yeah.
for each other.
Yes.
They do
yes,
share that
yes,
sort of
there
moment
is.
when
Yes.
Mungo goes, "You're kind of like me."
Yeah.
Like,
Well, what was the quote? Is like, I thought I was the strong one, but I think you're the strong one, and you'll survive.
Because only
Yeah.
the strong ones will be alive.
yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
like, once everything.
Which, it's proven.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Spoilers.
There's a part in the grocery store I just want to
Please.
give a shout out to. It's where the husband or sort of boyfriend of this
boyfriend,
pregnant
yeah.
woman, he takes a beer out of the
Ah,
fridge. He
yes.
takes a sip.
Warm.
It's warm, and then he puts it back. But
But then he picks it up again and drinks and
So
finishes
yeah,
it.
oh,
and then, then he gets 6 more.
Yeah, yeah.
3 or 4 more loose.
Yeah.
he's like
yeah.
tastes like piss or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So Australian.
So
Another real
good.
Australian is just going right back to the start with the initial meteors hitting the Earth.
Yeah.
They're playing cricket.
Oh, and the adult playing against the kids.
Yeah, yeah. And then a meteor goes straight through someone's stomach.
Yeah.
And it gets them out on the wickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then this woman, she's meant to be screaming no, but the way she does it and the way they just kind of timed it, it's like she's going out.
Yeah.
Like in cricket. Yeah. Yeah. But it was a no. Yeah. It was a
Cricket,
very
cricket's
good
like baseball, but it goes
double
for 5
visual
days.
gag. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that they brainstorming for this film. They obviously had a lot of really fun ideas, and you can
Yeah.
see that a lot of them made it to the final cut.
Yeah.
Like amazing gags with the zombie deaths and it just and
Shout outs to other films.
yeah,
Maybe that's part of what the problem was that you had with the story being a bit the way it is.
yeah,
Like,
that's what I think.
they
Like
strung together some scenes and made a loose narrative.
yeah, and I think by the end I was it came around for me. I was like, okay, that's what this is.
Yeah.
But the clever gags definitely made it worth it to sort of follow on. And even if I got a little bit lost, like it always brought me back in with, Marion's amazing gun tricks and blood.
I have a note here,
Yeah.
which is, hang on, where'd it go? Where the fuck did those 2 most recent handguns come from if he was naked?
Exactly. They just appear. He just sort of manifests them out of thin air. He's like this almighty being.
One thing I will note with the film, anything that had to do with Marion and guns, this is super anal retentive of me, but I was counting bullets. Marion only ever ran out of bullets as the clips would have run out of bullets. The cop shot 17 times from one revolver.
They were using, again, that's another resource they were wasting.
Yeah,
they were just using bullets like no tomorrow. Like, I love the part where and obviously it's to play up everything,
hilarious.
but where the boyfriend shoots the severed arm, like just over and over and over again. I'm like, that arm is not gonna.
Yeah. But all of Marion's guns ran out of bullets at the right time.
Yeah.
Okay. I suspect, I'm sure he won't mind me saying this is very public knowledge, like he used to work at Actors Workshop and I was taught by Mungo for a while, and he did acting on film, so he mentioned this film, and playing this character. And there was certain things, like I think it's one of the gas canister drops in his hand, or I think at one point, or there's this. He was saying how his bits of business that he did, he would just practice over and over and over again to make something unique rather than just someone with a gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And he could see the triple barrel, the 3-in-1 shotgun. Okay, you guys like to play around and experiment? So he really went into fine, minute detail with all the gunplay. That's all him doing that. There's nothing computerized or anything like that.
Wow.
I mean, a few editing tricks when he's catching and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But he's still catching, you know what I mean? Because he just practice and practice.
Yeah.
Mungo is the type of artiste who would have that in mind. No, my clips went out. I'm the senior, can't have me shooting more. It's not realistic.
Yeah.
He has an attention to detail.
Oh,
like
good.
that.
Well, it's good to know.
Just assuming, but I reckon that would be the case.
Thanks, Mungo.
Yeah.
Well done.
All right, so where are we up to? We're in the store.
Yes.
Okay. Guns have realistic clip sizes and run out all the time. People are being cured and dragged into the clouds for safety.
Yes, sorry if I may. He asked Renee, are you are you a fighter queen fish or just zombie food?
Yeah.
Talking about you're the new one. Pretty much I'm going to have to pass the torch to you at the end, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I cracked up. The fighter queen fish.
Yeah, that line got me too. That was a good one.
Harkening back to the fish they were talking about, because
Yes.
I was talking about the fish.
Well, because she was the catch of the day as well.
Catch of the day and all that, yeah.
All right, so now the group starts to lose size. We are seeing people getting killed, zombified, cured, taken up into the clouds. So we're starting to get down to the final girl, as you mentioned. Well, in this case, Mungo and the final girl.
Sorry, before we jump there.
You go on.
It's just in that store, because there were some very inventive deaths, yeah?
So many.
What do we
good
have?
Oh, I forgot to mention the 3 kills with 1 bullet in the house. She kills 3 zombies
and
with
that,
1 bullet.
Yeah, that's the moment where Marion sort of goes,
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
very good, very
Yeah.
good, yeah. Yes, with Chip. Sorry, what was his name? He was at the very start, the agent. He had a name.
No, he was just
Chip.
agent. Was it Chip?
oh, the agent.
It was something Chipperson.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that was the
Or was that the
the money guy.
Yeah, I
the
think that was the
accountant,
bank.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in
Yes.
the store.
Yes, he has a goddamn shovel
with the
sticking
shovel
out
in
of
his head. Yes.
And then it peels
Yeah.
off his face.
Really nice piece
He's-
of cathartic
Yes.
catch
Yeah,
up.
that was very funny. Him just bumping into
Yeah.
the side.
Yeah.
Just
Very reminiscent of Brain Dead in that moment as well. But when you see the sign of the hero, what's her name again?
Renee.
Renee's going to be,
Yep.
when she has that rotary blade
Yes, on the broomstick.
on the broomstick, and then she's just hacking and slashing samurai style
Yeah.
all of the zombies, and then it cuts to all of their limbs all over the ground,
Yep.
and the Australian flag,
And it just
behind.
falls down,
falls
yeah.
down in
Beautifully.
slow motion with the sword.
Pretty great. Pretty great.
very good.
Yeah.
That was very good. Sorry, please continue.
No, that's all right. So people are being killed, then cured and dragged into the clouds by the beams of light.
And they're up there in
Very
Jesus
cruciform.
Christ
Yeah,
poses
Yeah.
above
T-poses,
the clouds
yeah.
in the
Yeah.
night sky. I thought that was a cool effect.
So by this point, we're at the airfield, where the boyfriend character inexplicably can fly a plane.
Yeah.
Good point.
They're just, the whole time, they're just like, oh, we should have flown out. I'm like, how?
Yeah, there is a longer scene apparently cut from the film where they explain that he's been having pilot lessons.
Oh, right. Okay.
So it's explained. It just
You can get away with
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's not.
Yeah, I
not
put
great.
down a few times expectant father is useless.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, he is.
If it was a role playing game, he put all his dots into pilot
Yeah.
and dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes. So all right. So we're up to that point. So he starts getting. Starting to get the plane going. Then we're seeing more aliens and there's more zombies and there's a bit more of a realization of what the rain's doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we have that that moment where you just knew it's going to come back around, where at the beginning the pregnant woman is like, well, my talent was so much better. What it like, catch of the day, you shouldn't just have to lasso two pigs together or whatever, and you've won catch of the day.
Yeah.
I'm an amazing singer,
Yeah.
whatever. And then you have Renee at the end lassoing that zombie and pulling it into the plane turbine.
Yes.
And it just explodes.
Very Raiders of the Lost Ark, I thought.
Yeah.
I might be stretching. I might have been looking for that. All right. So, but now we see the very definite cure from the hands of the aliens. They create the blobs of water and they put it on people. It cures them. They go straight up into the sky. So it's very obvious at this point that that's beneficial. So they're floating in the clouds of suspended animation. So we're aware now that the aliens are actually there to keep the zombie infection from spreading. So they created the wall. They're taking everybody up into the clouds.
What started the infection in the first place?
The meteorites.
Okay, so the meteorites and the aliens are unrelated.
Well, my theory, which I will get to in the
Oh,
crypto
yes.
psychology
Okay,
corner,
Yes.
please. Okay.
I have a theory for that.
Okay, great.
Okay, cool.
Suspended animation. So now their job done, they leave. But they're unaware that the plane is in the sky and that Wayne has escaped and is as yet uncured. So Wayne is the useless husband. So he managed to escape by plane and will spread the infection after they've left. So the townspeople are rushed to the hospital to treat the injured. Unfortunately, Wayne transforms into a zombie, first infecting Marion and then spreading the plague once again. The film ends at Renee's farm where the survivors are staying. It looks like they've put up quarantine barriers, and the final shot of the film is a fenced-in area containing all the zombified residents of Berkeley.
Yeah.
Renee stands guard with a 4-barreled shotgun and a
Yes.
gas mask waiting for the return of the aliens to cure the zombified townspeople.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Marion is seen in this
As a
cage.
zombie.
Yeah, in cage.
Yeah.
Just at the front. Yeah.
Still wearing his hat.
Still wearing his hat. And probably those cowboy boots as well.
Yes, indeed.
And hiding pistols.
Yeah. All of my confusion sort of scattered throughout, which is now everything is making a lot more sense now I'm talking about.
It does, but it's a sequel ending. It's
It
not
really
the
is.
end
It's,
of the
it's,
story.
it's a
Yeah.
cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Everything was worth it for that end
Yeah.
bit. And I think maybe that's why I wasn't 100% sold, because I wanted to see more of Renee like that.
Yeah.
I wanted,
As a hero.
Yeah, I wanted to see Renee sort of like have that flip maybe a little bit earlier on.
Yes, fair.
Because I loved it,
Yeah.
and have her sort of realize that and then step up. And obviously, not every sort of civilization needs to beat the zombie apocalypse, but it is
It
nice
would be nice.
to have a heroine manning that
Yeah.
the transformation of her community back into
Yeah.
people again.
Yeah, yeah.
I just I
But that
loved
was
it.
that was the heartbreaking moment in The Walking Dead, where they get to the CDC, and the CDC doctor goes, "No, you don't understand. It's everywhere. It's the reason you turn is because it's in you now. There is no
Yes.
one that doesn't have the zombie
And that's
virus
why
in
the
them."
show's called The Walking
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
because of that
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
And man is the monster.
Yeah.
Always, always.
So
Which is
anything else?
tragic as fuck. It really is.
It really is.
It's just.
But I mean,
And that's why I love zombie movies.
that's the sadness of that story.
Yes, zombies do have their sadness. Zombies do have their sadness to them.
So a couple of notes that I've got at the end here. Waiting for Alex to come back. Sequel? Question mark.
Yeah, absolutely. No
So
question.
Marion's pistol count is 17. He has 17 separate pistols during the film. I don't know why I noted that down, but I just did.
I think that's important.
It's important,
Yeah.
important information. So the Baron's cryptopsychology corner. So there's a little bit of cryptozoology, a little bit of
Yeah,
parapsychology. So let's have a look. So the meteors create the zombies. Is it from radiation? Is it spores? Is it gas from the explosions? So in a real world, that's kind of the thing you'd be looking at, is that they're causing people to turn weird and be undead. And then the aliens come to fix the zombies with rain and globs from their hands. Is it disinfectant? Is it osmotic medicine? Is it nanotech? And are the aliens following those comets to fix people whose planet it lands on? Like, are they following? Because they get there pretty damn quick. And you see in the flashbacks with Marion on the boat, like one little meteor lands and all of a sudden there's an alien ship right above him with a cloud and the rain fixing
That's
him.
true.
So yeah.
But part of me thinks that they must be responsible in some capacity.
So that's my other theory,
Yeah.
which is they're performing experiments on us, and it happens all over the globe. Just maybe they do it in unpopulated areas, because you see them taking up like a grasshopper and other animals at one point.
Yeah.
That is true. There's a goat, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's a close-up of a goat floating in space.
Yeah.
Or like the
We're
goat
shocked.
head that was in Marion's house, I think.
Yeah.
which
Oh, was
is-
it?
Yeah,
Was it
I
that?
think
Okay.
so.
I think the biggest thing for me, though, that was just a bit of a what the fuck moment, was the plane flying through the sky. How many people did he kill with the plane?
So, surely more than they let on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it crashes on.
Half the community
Yeah.
is gone.
And he just jumps out, and the cops looking at him. I think there was Emma at that point. Was that Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't like him.
No, not a fan.
No, not a
The
fan of the
most.
guy that started
Maybe
the
the
second
most.
wave of the zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse, personally.
Yeah, and
Patient
really
two?
didn't care.
Patient two.
And,
Yeah.
going along, and at least the mustache cop was trying to do the right thing as far as he understood what the right thing was.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
And the town that
warped.
he grew
In
up
his
Warped, but
limited
yeah.
small
Warped,
town
but
kind of
yes,
way.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how cool the design of the alien spaceship
Oh,
was?
amazing.
The circular and then splitting up into little
Absolutely.
pizza slices.
Yeah, and then
that was
rejoining and taking off.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
I thought the barrier, the wall itself, with the
Amazing.
budget
Yeah,
they had, looked
really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sort of gave me Arrival vibes
Yeah.
in a very sort of
Yeah.
Cheap.
disconnect in a very sort of in a low budget
Low
project
low
kind
budget,
of
yeah,
low
yeah.
budget, not yeah.
The aliens were funny. I did find the scene between the glowing mystical alien
Yeah,
and
and
then
the naked-
and the nudist prey manted
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
style.
I was,
Effectively saying, don't kink shame me.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm comfortable in my skin.
Yeah, that was
Is
That-
that what the?
that line made me giggle.
Yeah.
Just the little. It was very serious. I think that's the. It sort of it gave me a little bit of whiplash because it would get really dramatic, and then it would immediately flip back.
This
Yeah.
movie does that the whole
Yeah,
way through.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Beautifully. Like
Yeah.
the way it was built was
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. The comedy of it is finely nuanced, finely crafted.
Like
Yeah,
the
yeah, funny.
timing,
Yeah.
especially of the physical comedy,
Yeah.
is very
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
and the shots. This I have a little factoid here. So the whole the whole film was basically shot in one take. So they didn't do multiple takes of
Yeah.
most of the shots, obviously, because they're working on a low budget. They have limited time.
Yeah.
But this film has 2,500 shots,
Yep.
which is a lot
That
of
is a
shots for a film of this
Yeah.
budget.
Because what's the duration? It's about an hour and a half.
I think so. Give me a sec.
It's I was reading an interview between the two brothers, and they said it's almost double what a project of this size would usually.
Seriously?
104 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a
Okay.
budget of $1 million Australian, and it made
Yeah.
in Australia in
$150,000.
In the US, it made $229,250.
Yeah.
So it
A
lost
loss.
money.
It was panned.
Yeah.
But
Critically, yes.
David,
It's amazing.
The other movies that they've done since then, though, as well, they've definitely
Yeah.
made a name for themselves. Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
do good work. Like, this is an amazing
Oh,
movie.
absolutely. And horror is, and especially campy, comedic horror is widely misunderstood by critics, and then sort of develops a cult following. That's sort
Yeah.
of a pattern that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think an important thing to keep in mind when you go to watch this film is that it's a first film.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're
It's
gonna
very much a
throw
first film.
everything at the
Yeah.
wall because they've been excited to make a film for such
And
a long time. And
they're
now they
working with
finally
family and friends.
Yeah, and
family
they
friends
they
and that
just
sort of thing, yeah.
they were working. They were doing commercials. Both the
Okay.
brothers were working in
Okay.
commercials. I think one of them was particularly interested in the design sort of
Yeah.
sector of film, and then they were like, we don't want to do commercials anymore. Let's pile our savings
Yep.
and put it into this medium
Very
that we
ro-
love.
Very Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I have a rating scale.
You do? 'Cause-
I do.
Okay, because I did some notes on a rating scale. So
Ooh.
let's
Well, this is
figure
this
out
is the
what we've
this is
got.
the Baron's personal
Please,
rating
this
scale.
is your personal. Go
This is
for
my
it.
personal rating
Of
scale,
course.
and this works
What
for
do we
any
have?
film.
Yeah.
Did it need a werewolf, or did it not need a werewolf?
Okay. Interesting.
So
Scream Queen.
could this film have been improved by the addition of a werewolf,
That's a
or
great
was it
scale.
okay?
I'm just going to apply that to my daily life now.
Dave
So-
could have done with a werewolf.
Could I have done? I think it could have done with a werewolf.
Okay.
I-
like in a post-credit scene or something.
No, I think that Marion should have been a werewolf.
Oh,
Not bad.
That's pretty
'cause
good.
Mungo.
I
you
think
know,
that would have been
he's a fairly
great.
hirsute man to start.
That's why he has no clothes on, because he tore them all off in
Yes.
his transformation.
there is a goof with that as well. When they go into the store, he's naked when he walks in, and there's a shot very soon after they're in the store, and he's wearing boxers.
Yes.
Okay.
But you don't see what he does. He may have picked up some boxes off one
Yeah,
of the shelves or something.
there's clothes around the
Yeah, yeah.
store. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't mind. So yeah, he should be a werewolf. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that would have been a cool element as
Absolutely.
well.
I mean, if you're going to throw in aliens, you're going to throw
Yeah.
in zombies. Throw in a werewolf.
So did it need a werewolf, Jane? I'm sorry, Mr. Popcorn. Sorry.
I wouldn't have been mad if a werewolf was in there,
Okay.
but I'm not going to just piggyback off what Scream Queen said there. No, I'll just go with my initial thoughts. I think there was enough going on with are they zombies, are they aliens?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I would tend to agree. I don't think it needed a werewolf. I wouldn't have been sad if there
No,
was one.
No, not at all.
But
and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Why not at this stage?
yeah,
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like need is a strong word.
yeah.
For this werewolf.
Could it have been improved with the addition of a werewolf?
For me personally,
Yep.
always.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. No, that's the extent of my my
Best
rating.
kill scene.
Oh, best kill
What do you
scene.
got?
Best kill scene.
See, I'm going to have to go with the Jaws. Post our talk last
Okay.
time, the
Okay.
Jaws kill with the gas bottle and the pen.
Does this count? They ram some sort of zombie and it sort of splats on the top of the van and the blood sort of pours down the front of
Oh yeah, on
Marion's
the
van on the
and stuff.
windscreen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will never, ever, ever get tired of seeing the gag of the blood on the windscreen.
Yeah.
The timing of that was just
And
gorgeous.
the prosaicness of the windscreen wipers taking it away.
And the squeaking,
Yeah.
like, it's just perfect. So
Yeah.
I don't know, that's not a kill scene, but it feels mentionable because it's just so good.
One of the scenes that I really liked in the film was when they were trying to get her out. The aliens were trying to beam her out of the back of the van, and the van was flying.
Yes.
But they seemed to be able to still steer.
Like fucking Harry Potter.
Yeah. So good.
But and by the end, you've just completely accepted all of this.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they've just leaned into it,
Yeah.
no apologies,
Yeah.
from the start.
There's no winking at the camera. They're all in the universe.
Yeah,
that they're in.
absolutely. Yeah.
And it does get really kind of melodramatically serious and then slapstick funny
Yeah.
from boom to boom. But
Yeah.
and they manage to pull off that balance,
Yep.
that interplay really
I agree.
well. My favourite, the kill scene is Chicky Renee with blade sword, zombie
Yep.
massacre, flag falling in background, dead bodies everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I
I
really
like it.
liked that.
I mean, the granny kill at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a great first kill. I've got a question for both of you.
Sure.
We'll start with you, Scream Queen.
Mm-hmm.
It's to do with legacy, I guess is a good way to put it.
Okay.
Is this a product of its time, or is this an instant or is this do you think this was an instant classic or grew into be a forever classic? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is it a product of its time? Do you have to watch it to forgive it its misgivings because it came out in 2004, whatever? Or does this have a sense of legacy to it? Did it become an instant classic like that? Or has it taken time, like 20 years, for it to build up its name, its following, Yeah, what do you reckon?
That's tricky. I think it probably definitely took some time to build up its sort of legacy. I think for when it came out, this film feels pretty groundbreaking. Like they're doing so much fun stuff. The visual effects are great. Like it won awards from the exact award it won. So it won Best Visual Effects at the Australian Film Institute Awards.
Oh, even in Australia.
And was screened at 17 film festivals worldwide.
Nice.
So and that's how they got funded for Daybreakers. So, I think people saw this and were like, this is sort of groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Like they're doing stuff that we haven't seen before. It was obviously instant hit enough for them to get the sort of footing to be able to do a film from grossing like 200,000 when they made this film to grossing $50 million when they did Daybreakers.
Yeah.
Like to make that leap, it would have to have sort of an instant classic sort of hold on. And I think it's fair to say that it had that.
Beautifully put.
I mean, I saw a copy of it on DVD in a Walmart when I went to the States.
Yeah.
So I nearly bought it too. I thought, an American version of it. And I looked at it and went, no, it's the same as the one I've got. and mine's autographed on the front cover. So
There you go. I like that. Oh, sorry, Baron, please.
you're right. What was the question?
Yes.
Legacy.
Legacy.
Honestly, my brain was going in a slightly different direction. I realised that I was not taken out of the film by the anachronism of the time. So there was no mobile phones, there was no computers or internet, but they didn't need them.
No.
So that film could have been made last year.
Yeah.
So I think it's got some legs as a timeless film. Provided humans don't evolve to the point we've got a third arm or something. I don't know.
I feel like it does sort of fit. It wedges sort of nicely between those two. Like I feel like if it was a spectrum between longevity, like forever classic to an instant classic, it would be somewhere in the center of those two
Yeah.
things.
Was there anything? I mean, was this just pure? We've got our box of what we've been into for so long. We've got all the movies that we're into, so we're just going to put this all into our first film.
Probably.
Or
They spent a long time on working on this movie.
Yeah.
do you think they were trying to not a message? Because it's not a message film, obviously. There's this, was it, what did we talk, 2001, 2004? Because, you know, horror movies are quite reflective of what's going on in society in the time that they're made,
Yep.
yeah? Do you think there was anything 2001 to 2004? Man, obviously, there's 9/11.
Yeah.
But, you know, like alien films in the 1950s was because of nuclear war, yeah? That's why they became big and famous, because of this all-consuming force wiping them out that's beyond their comprehension, yeah? Is there anything in this film that's touching on that? Or is this just pure, this is what we're really into, wanted to do, let's just do it all while we've got the chance?
Foreign terror.
Australia's known for that.
Yeah, like
And that fear.
like
yeah, like
fear
the day
of-
after,
fear
war
of
after
other.
tomorrow, that sort
Yeah.
of thing.
yeah, fear of the
Yeah.
others would be the aliens and the zombies.
Okay.
But I also wouldn't be surprised if they were just like,
Yeah.
I want to make a fun zombie.
yeah, I
film
want to make
Yeah.
a fun zombie alien
where,
film.
where we get Mungo naked and he's got
Yeah,
17
and you
guns.
could argue there's commentary on sort of the Australian sort of culture of small towns and
Sure,
that.
sure.
And-
Absolutely.
For every bit of tropey stuff they did something completely reverse of the tropey
Yes, they did.
next to it.
Yeah.
So very self-aware, yeah, you know, which is,
Yeah.
the point really, that they are self-aware
Yeah.
with this
Yeah.
film, definitely. Yeah. So, popcorn ratings. I don't know what you think, because I've been, you know, trying to...
Have you been noodling with it?
noodling with it, figuring out as we go. Yeah, so I'm just going to try this week, if I may. If anyone
Okay.
has
Yeah,
any
no,
other suggestions
go.
for popcorn-based, popcorn-themed rating systems, please let me know.
That was me.
But I've just got it out of 5, and it's going from 1 to 5, 1 the worst, 5 the best, and it goes burnt, flop, satisfying, delicious, evil.
Oh,
And evil was good in this sense. of
Yeah, yeah.
course. It's like the best of the best. It's perfect. Evil is another word for perfect. Yeah. In this context. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean?
In every
Yeah.
context.
Thank you.
I think I'm going to go with delicious.
Okay. This was 4 out of 5. Why?
4 out of
There,
5.
Baron.
It delivered everything that it said it would on the tin. It was nice to see familiar, like it wasn't for Philadelphia or Chicago or New York or Los Angeles. It was Southeast Queensland. It was really nice. It feels representative of us. And I really liked the fact that they went, this is a trope. We're going to give you a trope with one hand, and then we're going to take another trope away with the other hand and do something completely different. So I feel that the attention to not being obvious really served them well.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautifully put. Scream Queen.
I think I'm going to go smack bang in the middle.
Okay.
I'm going to say it was satisfying. Yes. I didn't know a lot about the film going into it, so maybe when you said it is exactly what it says on the tin, but I hadn't read the tin.
Was the label missing?
Yeah, the label had come off, it had peeled off. I didn't read the tin, but it was charming and it was fun and it had these great sort of action moments, and the alien zombie fusion really surprised me. And I wasn't expecting that from a film made in 2003.
Yeah.
It's definitely not... I've read a lot of critics being like, oh, it's derivative, it's, you know, it's just like every other horror zombie film. I don't think that's true.
No, it's not.
I don't think that's true. So I think it's satisfying in that sense. And I was a little confused at the lore and the story, but I was always reeled back in. So by the end, with that beautiful gas mask, the 4-barrel shotgun, it was worth it. Yeah.
The outpost full of humans that were cured.
Yes. Yeah. Very satisfying. I'm happy with that. Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Popcorn?
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm satisfied. So, yes, definitely 3 out of 5. Definitely entertaining. The atmospherics were great, and I am a fan of atmospherics, and I am a fan of good choreography, and Mungo's gunplay was fantastic.
Really was.
Absolutely. And it had the right amount of melodrama meets slapstick,
Yeah.
And and it takes me a lot to watch a slapstick film. Yes, a comedy horror that really leans into being silly. And there were moments of absolute silliness.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
beyond
yeah.
Sean.
Absolute
Yeah.
silly. The fish in the boat,
Goofiness, yeah?
the
Yeah.
zombie fish,
Totally.
yeah.
The nudist alien,
The nudist alien and that sort
the
of
nudist
thing.
mungo.
And it takes a lot for me to watch this sort of film, but they had the right recipe of elements and the right balance
Yep.
of elements to keep me going into the end. And I did say I would be unsure at the start. I would be unsure if I'd watch this again. I would watch this again. I'd just give it another 5 or 10 years so I can keep
Yes.
the freshness of the
Yep.
experience.
Yeah.
If that's
Yeah.
fair.
I think
Yeah.
having talked it out and having understood sort of the plot a little bit more and how the aliens and zombies sort of operate, I'm like, oh yes, I feel like I could watch this again and pick up more on
Yeah.
what's going on.
I get the feeling that there's some scenes that they cut shorter
Yep.
that maybe had a bit more exposition in them that we didn't see, specifically so they weren't making a 2-hour zombie film.
Yeah.
Which thank you for that. as
Yeah,
well.
it didn't need to be any longer.
No,
I think
no,
it's
no.
yeah.
So it's just tightened up a little bit, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's
Cool.
Undead.
Thank you. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Are we going to get some sizzle
pick.
for the next film? Have we picked the next film yet?
I have.
Screen Queen, do you want to tell them what we're
Yes,
doing?
I want to
Sizzle,
do Sissy, a film that came out last year, I
Okay,
believe.
Sissy.
I haven't. The name of the director escapes me currently,
Okay, well-
but it's very new. Screen Queensland.
What's the elevator pitch? Give us the 10-second what it's about.
Influencer
Okay.
meets old friend.
Okay.
Unresolved tension
Okay.
that gets resolved in one way or another.
Okay, that's interesting.
I don't want to
Yeah.
say too
No, I'm
much.
peaked,
Yeah.
I'm peaked. Cool.
So where can we find it?
That's a great question that I
we'll
don't
have
know the
we'll
answer
have
to.
look first.
We'll have to
Yeah.
look it up, but Baron, where can we find Undead?
Oh, good question.
I
It's on
know.
Shudder.
It's on Shudder.
Yeah.
In
well, it's on-
Australia, it's on Shudder.
It's on Shudder, but it's also in my DVD collection.
And we'll just go to the Baron's
I've
house.
alphabetized them. I
It's
haven't
a
done the
signed
genre.
copy.
Yeah.
It's available on American. I'm sorry, America Prime. Yeah,
Yes.
Amazon. Blah blah blah. Here in Australia, yes, Shudder. That's all.
Because I watched my DVD copies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get it on DVD, Blu-ray.
Yeah,
Blu-ray.
I believe so.
Sure. Okay.
Probably on VHS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laserdisc.
Beta.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So we're going to do Sissy next.
It's very different. Very different.
Okay.
I look forward to it.
It's not directed by twins, unfortunately.
Damn it.
I'm sorry.
Are there siblings in it at the very least?
We've got to have some
No.
siblings involved in every single film. and
It's
thing.
Australian. That's certainly the connection.
No,
Yeah,
Fair
okay,
enough.
cool. And yeah, all our stuff we're slowly getting there with the platforms as well. So we have the Facebook, we have Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram at Evil Popcorn Pod.
Yes.
Evil Popcorn Pod.
And Facebook, Evil Popcorn Podcast. And the YouTube. Go to those two places there and you'll find all the YouTube links.
Yep.
Yes, you can give it a go looking for us as Evil Popcorn Podcast on YouTube. But we're
Spotify?
new. There is, yes. We are new, so it takes a while for the algorithm to recognize us and start pushing up to the front. So if you could do all the liking, sharing, subscribe, and all that stuff you always get pestered with, but it really does help. It's the only way people know that we actually exist. So we can basically review more movies, cover more events, and get guests in, like Australian horror guests, people in the industry.
We could do some merch.
That sort of thing would be fantastic. But for now, just follow us and, just give us a go,
Yeah.
basically.
Thank you
Try
for
us
listening.
out.
Yeah.
If you are listening, thank you.
And there is Spotify, absolutely. Apple, it says it's been submitted. They've got it. I'm just waiting until they've spoken to the elders or whatever the fuck happens over there.
The Illuminati.
Yes, exactly. But we are on Podcast Addict as well.
Okay.
Yeah, those. And if you can get that, that means it's usually distributed to the others. Podcast Addict. It's an RSS feed, so it will go to your Googles and your Alexas, your Google Podcasts, and your Alexa, and all of that jazz. So you can find us. It's going to get easier. The more you help us, the more easier we will be to find.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. And we appreciate. We are very grateful.
Yes.
We are grateful to you today, there, Baron. Great film. Thank you. You're bringing
Yes.
Sissy.
Yes, thank you.
Cool. Any final thoughts?
No,
Reactions?
this was fun.
Breakdowns? No.
I'm glad I got the opportunity to get my poster out of
thank you.
storage.
Yeah, let's try and get.
Let's get a photo of that for
I
the
don't have a
Instagram.
sissy poster, but I'll
We'll get a
locate
photo of
one.
that for the
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Especially because it's got the autographs and stuff on it as well.
Yeah, and if you have any Australian films that you would like us to
Yes.
cover, or
Get in
anything
contact.
Australian horror based, yes.
Yeah,
just
message us on Facebook or on Instagram.
however you can contact
comment.
us. Those who
Yep.
know us individually, if you're all right,
Yeah.
people,
Yep.
messaging suggestions.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
I don't know who they are. but-
So some shout outs and plugs. So obviously the very first plug, we've got to say a big thank you to Evil Corp.
Yes. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you,
Love
Kate.
you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we are filming at Evil Corp. Come check out Evil Corp
Yeah,
in Brisbane
yeah.
if you haven't
Horror
already.
Maze.
Yes.
Getting better and better every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a terrible rhyme.
I liked it.
Happy
I liked
horror
it a lot.
days.
Happy horror days. We're back.
Anything else you want to cover?
Look, same
Shout
as
out.
the last time. Shout out to Improv Queensland and Act React. Find them on the various socials. I'm not going to name them all here because there's too many.
Not a lot still to plug currently. I'm writing something at the moment that is in the works, so hopefully in the next 6 months or so it
Okay.
becomes a physical
I'm
thing.
curious about this.
DM us if you want to have the draft of my play.
We go. Oh, okay. Myself, yes. Come to my escape rooms. And come to Evil Corp, most importantly. Really
Yes.
want to get this place, bigger and better as it does grow every week.
Yeah.
Bigger and better. We have Halloween coming up soon, so we're going to
That'll
be
be a
doing all
big one.
sorts of stuff. We're going to be here
Yes.
more often. So check out Evil Corp that's Evil Corp Haunted Attraction Australia, Evil Corp Horror Maze. Variation of those things, you'll find it. And definitely come and check us out. It's well worth it. You don't even have to go into the maze. You just come down into the bar, check the vibe. There are $8 basics. You know what I
The
mean?
shots are delicious.
Yes, and
I can say.
Scream Queen. I work here at the Maze Performer. Scream Queen, you've been through.
Yes,
You
I've been
recommend?
through. Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
Absolutely.
I
It
keep
was
meaning
great.
to.
You've got to come.
I've got
down
to come
one night,
along.
sir. Absolutely.
Get to see Mr. Popcorn in his element. It's very fun. Very fun.
Unhinged, unleashed. Who else did I want to shout out though? I wanted to shout out Dan. Dan put together the music for us, intro,
Yeah.
outro, and all my spooky laughing and chuckling. Who else did I wanted to shout out? Ren from Evil Corp. She's working away on more art for us.
Nice.
Thank you for
Lovely.
doing that there, Ren. Shout out Kate as well for allowing us to film here. Is there anyone else I wanted to shout out who has helped us create
Oh,
this? at the
Liam
moment?
did the logo.
Yes.
The,
Okay.
And
the
it's
evil
great.
popcorn.
Yes, thank
box.
you.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Liam.
And anyone else who I have helped out, who has helped me out, even in terms of suggestions, like I've gone, so what do you reckon, Children of the Popcorn or Evil Popcorn? And everyone said Evil Popcorn.
Children of the Popcorn's really good.
It's good though, was it?
It's really
Copyright.
That'll be the kids' horror film section.
Yes,
Children
it
of
is.
the Popcorn.
Write it down.
Everyone,
Write
write
it down.
it down.
Now.
Kids' horror films.
Yeah.
Are there kids' horror films?
Yeah, there, of course there is.
Yeah.
horror
Oh, absolutely.
we-
I saw horror movies when I was a. I saw movies when I was a kid that
There's-
scared
we-
me. Does
there's
that count?
The Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion.
We Have a
Oh,
Ghost has just come out of
yeah. Oh, I
Netflix
love that
recently. Yeah,
movie.
yeah, so did I.
Monster House.
Monsters.
Yeah, okay,
Inc.
yeah, you're right.
Coraline.
You're right. Yep.
I know, I love-
Coraline.
Coraline
That's
is-
an adult horror.
Next.
Yeah, that's just a good movie.
Next after Australian horror, kids horror. Children
Okay,
of Popcorn.
Children of the Children of the Evil
Children of the Popcorn.
Children
Okay.
of Popcorn.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Sizzle.
Done.
That's Sizzle.
You better hold us to that, everyone.
Okay, cool. I don't know how long we've done, but this has been great.
Yeah.
1 hour 26.
Fucking great. It
Great,
didn't feel
yeah.
like a little great flow.
We've come in under the time of the film.
Yes.
Come on, let's keep vamping. Keep vamping.
Yeah, I think
Amazing.
I think we're
Yeah,
done.
I think we've said it all.
Yeah.
I will let you sign off last. Scream Queen.
Thank
So-
you for listening.
Keep it.
Stay
sorry.
alive and not undead. Thanks. I don't know.
Yeah.
You should have just cut me off.
Yes. Thank you for those listening. And for you too as well.
Thank you.
I actually feel this has gotten off the ground now. That we're actually in motion now, which is fantastic. Fucking love podcasting. and since the pandemic and onwards, sort of thing, you know. And thank you for both being here. Thank you for listening. Keep a buttery peace, Baron.
And don't forget to respect your elders and don't fucking eat them.